Hey, welcome back to the Mr. Excel Netcast. I'm Bill Jelen. Basically, you start out with massive amounts of data. You say, how are we going to analyze this? Well, let's fire up a pivot table and see if we can solve this problem. Hey, all right. Welcome back to the Mr. Excel Netcast. I'm Bill Jelen. The spring seminar season is just about over. We have one more big seminar out in Denver. That's the National IMA Conference. So for the most part, I'm not going to be getting Excel questions every week as I travel around doing the seminars. If you've sent your question into the podcast before, or if you have a question that you'd like to see on the podcast, please, by all means, send it to me. This is a great time. I need some questions for the podcast. Either drop an email to bill@MrExcel.com, or if you want to be on the podcast, leave your question as a voicemail, 866-581-0221. Introduce yourself. Hey, this is Mary from Chicago, and launch into your question. We'll be able to help you out. Another example here of formula recount times. We talked about this on Monday in 1011, where we designed a better formula. This time I want to talk about something called helper cells. Helper cells. Now, I have 11,000 rows here. The 11,000 rows are each calculating revenue as a percentage of the total revenue for that product. So I thought this formula out here is pretty cool, to be honest. Take the revenue in this row, divided by the SUMIF. Look through all of the rows in column B, see if it's equal to XYZ. If it is, add up the corresponding cell in column E, that nice little SUMIF function there. But think about this SUMIF function. That means on every single row, it's going to go evaluate 11,823 other cells. So we just have a huge equal 11,823 raised to the second power. 139 million references that have to be calculated in order to calculate this. Now I'm going to use the same macro that I used before. This macro right now is outdoing 139 million various references, and we'll see how long it takes. It's been running somewhere in the 15 to 20 second range. So we're waiting for that. Let me talk about the problem with this entire line. So that means that once for XYZ on row 2, it's going to come up again and again and again and calculate that same number over and over. All right, so check that out. 31 seconds to calculate that range. Now I'm going to go on to another worksheet where I've changed things a little bit. Over here, I put the really time-intensive calculation. These three cells out here that calculate the total for XYZ, the total for DEF, and the total for ABC. Put those out to the side. Those are called helper cells. So rather than having to calculate 11,000 times the SUMIF, it only calculates it once. And then here in the actual formula, we're doing E2 divided by the VLOOKUP. Now the VLOOKUP is going to be fast. You'll notice that I'm using not the comma false version, but the exact match. The lookup range is sorted. There's only 3 items in the lookup range, so it's going to run lightning fast. Now remember, the very first time, the previous example to calculate 31 seconds. And now we're going to calculate this one. Check that out. Less than, well, 0.01, almost 0.02 seconds, 1/50th of a second. Dramatically faster by taking those 3 values and putting them out in a helper cell. Even though we had to do 11,000 VLOOKUPs, the VLOOKUPs were lightning fast because it was a small table. So there's an example where we went from 31 seconds to let's call it 0.2 seconds. Just a dramatic change in calc speed by thinking about what is in this calculation that can be moved out to a secondary cell and then refer to that secondary cell, so that way the whole thing does not have to be calculated again and again and again. Great example of recalc speed. If you like this one, make sure to watch episode 1011 back on Monday and check out the white paper mentioned in that episode, because it goes through many more examples like this. Well, hey, I want to thank you for stopping by. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to drop me a note and we'll get to you on a future podcast. We'll see you next time for another Netcast from Mr. Excel. Well, thanks for stopping by. We'll see you next time for another Netcast from Mr. Excel.